Hi there, my name's Christine. I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I have fallen in love with these cute little boxes that are part of this the Sweet Springtime Paper Pumpkin Kit, so February 2024. These little boxes here, this is what it looks like when it's all put together. And yeah, I knew I needed more than 3, which the kit only makes 3. So I busted out some paper that I have that is the Dandy Designs Designer Series paper. So it's retired, but I just love the kind of Easter kind of colors that it has, the springtime colors. So I've been using it. So I have made, using the bunny from the kit, because the way they've designed their boxes, you can put a bunny on each side. So I decided to put a bunny only on one side, leaving the back side blank. I'm going to use these as table toppers for my Easter dinner table. So I've combined the different papers and the bunnies with the little chicks and made my own little milk carton boxes. Here's another one. And this one, and I thought it'd be fun to make one, to show you how to make one, in case you also want to make these little boxes, excuse me, because they're so cute. So the first thing I did is I took an unfinished, unbuilt box from the kit, and I measured it all out. So you might have seen on my Facebook page, I posted my sticky sheet and some of what I was up to on the weekend. So this sticky sheet has my dimensions on it. So I'm going to put this one over here, and I'll do some cutting with you, and you can see how I made the box. So what you need is a sheet that measures 10.5 by 7. So this is a scrap that I have kicking around. I'm not actually sure how long it is, so I'm going to do that cut first. If you haven't used our paper cutter, it's amazing. It's my favorite. So it has this swing out arm that allows you to fold, to cut to larger pieces. So I said 7. So I'm lining it up to the 7 on my board here. And make that cut. And the other cut, I've hidden my paper for myself, but it's 10.5. I've made a few. I now know. So 10.5, and we'll make that cut. Now, a little tip that I have is when you get to the part where you're not cutting anymore, is I hide my cutting blade from myself. So I don't know if you, I hope you can see this. I've just put it down at the bottom here. So I'm not going to use it to do my scoring. So first off, I'll score along the long side. So I'm doing 2.5. And I'm just going once. I find with the Designer Series paper, you don't want to go too hard and you don't want to go over it too many times or you can tear the paper. And 5. And 7.5. And 10. And I know I've done it right because I've got a 1/2 inch left over. So I'm going to turn that over and do my short side. So I'm doing 1/2 inch is my first one. Just a bit tricky because I've got a messy desk. So I'm just lining that up to the 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to 2. Sorry, I'm fussing a bit here. All right, 2. And then 4.5. And that's that. So now I'm going to take this away. Some people like to use their cutting board to make the cuts. I'm going to use my scissors. I just find it easier. for me, but whatever you prefer is what you should definitely use. So I'm going to start with my, that's weird. I didn't actually, oh yeah, they're super faint. Uh-oh. It's going to be, okay. I can't see my my lines that run this way. So I'm going to do them, well, this is the side I want to use anyway. So, so that kind of works out. Now, before I do those, I'm going to do my folds. So this is the side that I want on the outside. So I'm going to fold inward. That was funny. I'm like, oh my God, did I actually not cut the paper at all? Or score it, I mean. Oop. So I'm using my bone folder, and you want to be exact with these so that it folds properly. As I say that and make a complete mistake here, but there we go. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, a little bit of an imperfection there, but I'm going to hope that it settles itself. So I'm just making these folds nice and crisp. It's going to make it easier to know where to cut, and it's also going to come together a lot better. And I'm making sure that my paper lines up so that I've got straight folds. And the last one I will do on this side so that I can see nicely what I'm doing. All right, and then we've got our folds going the other way, which I cannot see at all. So, and I'm just using my bone folder to do this. If you don't have a bone folder, just use maybe a pen, something that's not going to mark your paper. Now, if you've got this paper pumpkin kit, you'll notice that there's a set of folds that I did not replicate. And you'll see that the box comes together just fine without. So if you've got this kit at home, you'll see, and I don't know if it's going to show through. Oh my gosh, I don't have my light on. Let's turn my light on. My light's not plugged in. My goodness. Thinking you're going to see what I'm doing a lot more with the light on. There we go. So my apologies. I hope that that wasn't too dark. So you'll notice that there's some folds here on the paper pumpkin ones. I'm not doing those. It will come together. And they've punched out the holes prior to assembling the box. Again, I'm going to do that my way because it works for me. Okay, so I've got all my folds done. Again, you can see them a little bit better on this side, I think. So now I'm going to keep my instructions in view for myself, but I will just show you. So we're going to start with the short side. So I'm cutting this 1/2 inch. And I don't need this piece, so I'm notching it, which is when you cut on an angle. I'm taking that piece away. Same thing at the bottom. Cut up to my score line. And I don't actually need this piece, so I'm going to notch it out as well. And there we go. So this is the bottom of my box. So I'm just going to cut these this way. Now again, you can use your paper cutter to do this. Just make sure that you see where you need to stop cutting, which is at the first score line here. So I'm going to cut them to start, and then I will go through the notching. Sorry, I find it hard to cut and talk at the same time. Okay, so now I've done this box a little bit reverse from their instructions, which is going to complicate things a little bit, but not too much. So what I am going to do, I know that I need this piece to be nice and straight. This one gets notched. On both sides. So I've made boxes similar to this before, and this one gets notched. And they've done something that I don't normally do. I have been doing it with these boxes because I'm following instructions, is they've cut this notched piece a little, kind of halfway. So I'm just eyeballing this and I'm not measuring. If you are more comfortable measuring, by all means. So then what they've done is they've kind of cut this piece. You'll see they've kind of cut it in half. So I'm going to eyeball that and do it. If you've got a pattern paper, it's a bit easier to see where to do it to have a reasonably straight line, but these pieces are hidden. So if it's not totally straight, it doesn't matter. Did I do this wrong? Hold on. One, cut. I did. I notched the wrong one. It's the end one that I'm supposed to notch. Nope, that's not true. This one's long. This one's long. This one's notched. Dang. Okay, so I made a little mistake. We'll work through it. Let me catch up here. I'm glad I did this before I cut, because the other one is totally fixable. It just means that I'm gonna have to be careful with the order in which I put my bottom together. So then on this side, I'm gonna put some tear and tape, good old double-sided tape, which is very sticky stuff. And now I have to pay attention because I want this piece to be on the inside, followed by these. So he's going to get some tape, which is the same as the instructions. And I'll show you a little tip. If you tear too much tape, that's an easy fix as well. Now this is my finishing piece, so I'm going to put the tape on the inside, because that's going to be the last fold that we do. So first thing we're going to do is close our sides. Okay, so the easiest way I find to do this is to lay it on itself. And then you're going to line up your folds. And there we go. Now to assemble the inside, we've got our little imperfect piece here that we're going to put. So I've got too much tape here, so that's not a problem. I'm taking that off, and then I'm just going to fold it on itself, and it disappears. So this goes in first, then those side pieces, and then we're going to take the tape off the other one and close it. There we go. Now I'm just going to flip that over. I'm going to use my bone folder. Again, you can use a pencil or whatever you've got handy. Just press that down so it's nice and closed, and that gives it the structure that it needs as well. Now there's the little part that we folded the box with, that we closed the box with, sticks out a bit. So I'm using that as my guide to where the back is. So what I'm doing is I'm just pinching the center and bringing the box together. And squeezing. And there's our little milk box shape. So I didn't do those intricate folds that the paper pumpkin did, but I find this works really well. So once you've got it at this point, I've had this for, I don't know, ever. I bought this for myself in school, I think. So I'm just going to punch that through. And again, I'm totally eyeballing, and I'm throwing paper at myself because it doesn't have a lid. That's okay. So now we've got our little punched out holes. One thing I didn't do, and I should have, is grab my ribbon. So excuse me. Oh, sorry about the video there. Oh, goodness. So this is a nice way to kind of reach into your supplies that maybe aren't getting as much love as they could, and put them to use. So I've got this retired Fresh Freesia ribbon, which I love. Oops. And that's what I'm going to use to close it. So fold it through. And I'm going through all the holes at the same time to about the halfway mark. I'm going to pick up some Easter chocolates to fill these with. There we go. And if you prefer to just make a knot, that works too. There we go. So then to decorate the front, I have used my Stylish Shapes dies. So we've got the banners, we've got the squares, and we've got the circles. So I've used one of the squares here. And I love both sides of this paper. This was a bit of a tough decision to make on which one I was going to use. So a little bit of glue on that. I do find it easier to decorate the box once it's assembled and closed. It gives a little more structure to your paper. So there's that. And we're just missing a little bunny, which I also forgot to take out. So, and I mean, you can use, you know, anything at all on these boxes, which is so fun for any occasion. So, down to almost my last bunny here. And on that, I'm just going to use some dimensionals. Excuse my reach. And that goes on here. And we've got another little box made. So I hope you like these. The measurements are really not too complicated. 10.5 by 7 is your paper. I scored it at 2.25, 5, 7.5, and 10 on the long side. And then I flipped it over and I scored it at half, at 2, and at 4.25. And it's really just about cutting and notching at the right sides, which you saw is recoverable if you make a small mistake. Anyway, yeah, I hope you'll give these a try. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Reach out. I'll be happy to answer them. And with that, I will leave this video. The subscription period for the March kit, I will just throw in, ends on March 10th if you're interested in the March paper pumpkin kit. And now I will stop the video.